Well, everyone, I wanted to make a quick little comparison between Uber and Lyft and basically which specific ride application you should go ahead and use. Now, this is going to be quick and nothing crazy. I've used both as a passenger, not a driver, but I've heard stories of people who, have driven both for Uber and Lyft, and they love using both of them. I don't know if you're still able to use both at the same time, but essentially, I've been in a lot of Ubers where they also have like the Lyft little like icon up top too. So in my opinion, if you're a driver, you should probably look into both of them and like watch other videos. But as a passenger, there are some really good features between both that I actually do like a lot. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is basically the same places you can download Uber, you can also download Lyft. So if you have an Android, if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPad or whatever other device you're using, you can access Uber and Lyft on the same exact applications, on the same exact operating systems. So that is a really cool thing. I like how there's not one specific one for another one. And I like how, you can use them both on whichever one, which is really nice. So that is pretty much a really big thing to keep in mind. Now, between both, you do have a few different options to choose from in terms of the basic, ride sharing options you have. So you can do Uber X, which is basically like their 4-seat sedan service. There's Uber Comfort, Uber XL, Uber Pool, which allows you to go ahead and, you can go and pick in from different locations and drop points. You have Uber Black SUV and you have Uber WAV. Lyft kind of has the same thing. So you have the original Lyft, series. You have a Lyft XL, Lyft Deluxe, Lyft Black, and Lyft Black XL. So you kind of have the exact same things between both. Whether you want to go ahead and go with standard, Lyft, if you want to go with Uber, you have the same type of capability between each one. So even there isn't really that big of a difference there either. And both of them, if you have any issues within Lyft or Uber, they have, customer services there. They have everything there too. So a lot of like overlap between both. And I noticed that if one specific ride sharing application, like if Uber brings a cool feature, Lyft is probably going to end up bringing it too, and vice versa. So you're really not missing out on both, whether way you're going to either one, in my opinion. However, the big thing that a lot of people used to kind of mention was price tag. From what I've seen before and kind of like the stereotype before, it looked like Lyft, the specific prices you were going to pay for Lyft was cheaper than the prices you were going to go ahead and, pay for Uber. I don't know if that's 100% the case anymore, but I will say from the places that I've gone, which isn't really that many places, but the few places that I've kind of visited to, they actually kind of showcase almost the same exact price tags because there's different, options you can choose from both Uber and Lyft. Like if you want the like standard Uber, if you want a Uber XL, same thing with Lyft XL. Their price for like a standard Uber or standard Lyft driver may be cheaper, but the other one may have a more expensive like XL price tag. So that is one thing I noticed. So yeah, one may be cheaper than the other one like immediately, but the other one may be cheaper in another area. So it's not always like apples to apples. Now the availability. In this specific aspect, I've never really noticed a difference between the availability from either an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. Every single place I've gone to, which is like very, very popular places, I'm not really traveling anywhere that's not super popular. In this specific case, you can actually get almost the same exact availability whether you're using Lyft or you're using Uber. So in my experience in that standpoint too, there wasn't really that big of a difference. Whether I'm using an Uber or whether I'm using a Lyft, I'm getting the same exact experience, which is actually pretty cool. So if you're somebody who's going through and you're using an Uber or a Lyft, if you land in, let's say like you land in New York City, well, you can rest assured that you're going to be able to find an Uber driver to take you and a Lyft driver to take you as well. Now, a big thing I want to throw in here is that a lot of credit cards, like if you're a credit card user, there are a lot of credit cards that can actually reimburse you if you have like the annual fee or whatever. Maybe if not, maybe things change. They can reimburse you if you use either Uber or Lyft or any ride sharing application. So if that's the case, another big thing I would recommend you to do is to actually take a look at your specific credit card provider, or if there's another application you use or whatever the case is for like reward points or something, you may want to see if you get reimbursed for using Uber or using Lyft. I know with like Discover cards, sometimes they'll give you like 5% back on Uber or Lyft or something like that. So you may just want to take a look at your credit card because like I said, the similarities are overlapping like crazy, and you might be better off if you just go ahead and take a look at your credit card provider and see if you can actually go ahead and get some reward points back, and that would probably be the better one to use in that specific situation. So when it comes down to it, in this quick little comparison I kind of throw out here, I kind of think that, again, if I'm going in a city, I already have Uber and Lyft on my phone, and I will usually open both of them up and see which one is going to give me the shortest amount of time for someone to pick me up. And if the cost is so much cheaper, then I'll just go choose one over the other. And that is usually the thing that makes the most amount of sense to me. I don't really, fan favorite Uber or Lyft. I feel like they're just both kind of the same thing. But again, if your credit card provider is, giving you credits back, or they're giving you like cash back or reward points or whatever, I don't even know, if you use one app over the other one, then you may want to go down that direction, and that might make a little bit more sense when it comes down to it. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.